And with so many of us shopping online these days, it's safe to say we've all dealt with the challenges of ordering the right size. So Moshe is here with a timely lesson that I think will be very appreciated by myself and all of our viewers. Hey, Moshe.
Hi, Tracy. Yes, so I think we're all, whether we were online shoppers or not, having to shop on the internet now more than ever. So here are some of my definitive tips and tricks for getting it right when it comes to fashion and clothing measurements. Because as we said, you always know that oftentimes you can return, sometimes you can't, but it's a hassle and we don't have time for that right now. So why don't we get it right the first time? And the other thing that I really wanted to point out with this is I think there's something so liberating about really knowing your own body's measurements. Brands change size to size, and I think a lot of times women have this tendency to be defined by numerical sizes. No, most people don't fit into one of those size boxes.
I know you say as well, we need to sort of treat ourselves sort of like how men do. They see their sizing just based on their body measurements, and it's not that big a deal. I know this as well from designing my own label. Some sizes can fit smaller or larger than what's considered the norm, so you really have to be aware of what your actual measurements are.
So I start with the shoulder point to shoulder point. So that's this measurement here, which is really key when it comes to coats and outerwear because you want to be able to have enough mobility. So I do shoulder point to shoulder point from the front. Then you also want the shoulder point to shoulder point measurement. This is where you might need someone to help you from the back to very key, again, with blazers and jackets. You know, if you're in a car, you need to be able to have that mobility. The next measurement that I think is really important is from the shoulder point to, and if you're trying to measure for jackets and coats, a rule of thumb, how do you remember it, is the knuckle on your thumb is where you want the measuring tape to end. So again, you might need to call a friend or a spouse to help you record these, but that's where you measure there. Another good measurement, if you're getting something with a higher collar, is from the neck point down to where you would like the garment to end. A lot of times brands are more and more offering made to measure, or they'll list the full measurements of the garment on the website. So that's really helpful to refer to. Okay, next we get to the bust. Again, like I said before, the average woman's breast size changes something like 10 times in her lifetime. So this is a measurement you're going to need to update a lot. So you want to measure at the fullest part of your bust. I don't care what Marilyn Monroe's measurements were. It's your own thing. So that's really where your nipples are, pretty much. Like you're going around that perimeter and you're getting that, recording that measurement. The other measurement you want is your rib cage. This is the measurement for bras. So you take that right under the bust. Then there's a measurement called your natural waist, Tracy. This is a favorite of mine because I love a high-waisted anything. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to overly suck in because you need to be able to, do things like sit down. So make sure that you're, not kidding yourself. And there's a little bit of ease there. And then you're going to go on your lower waist. And then oftentimes our least favorite measurement, but super important, is the hip, right? What I love about these numbers is it doesn't okay, so for me, it's 40. It says 40 today. Maybe another day it would be bigger or smaller. Who cares? But that's what I'm recording down today. And if you're buying something more form-fitted, that's how you know that it's not going to be too tight for you there. Having this all referenced for you, Tracy, makes online shopping so much easier. And I think it's a healthier attitude for we as women to adopt.
Anything else we need to know, Moshe, before we wrap up?
It's always good to make note of the area of your body where you're most likely to have a fit issue. So for me, it is my hips. For a lot of women, it is their shoulders. Some women have really long arms. So make an extra note of that. And I think it's worth going the extra step to email the brand and just ask them, hey, can I get the measurement of this specific garment in this size, to just verify, buy once, cry once. That's always my motto.
I like that. Okay, thank you, Moshe.